I asked 5,000 people to make a Honkai Star Rail tier list. Here are the results. But before we take a closer look, let's first discuss the methodology to the madness. What's up everyone, my name is BoostStreams and welcome to a Honkai Star Rail tier list. In a survey, I asked participants to rank every released character on a scale of 1 to 10. Then, I compiled the tier list based on the averages of their responses. Here are the statistics and tiers. Thank you to everyone who responded. We'll start with a disclaimer. This video is in no way a scientific study, valid statistical analysis, or objective ranking of characters. It is a tier list that I compiled for fun with the help of the survey respondents, so please take all results with a massive grain of salt. We'll start with the best characters according to this list. The highest rated character was my personal favorite, Bronya, with a score of 9.21 out of 10. This didn't surprise me at all, since Bronya's buffs are completely busted, and she is widely considered the best character in the game. If you want to see how insane Bronya is, I made a video going in depth into how her buffs are insanely broken when used with Seele. She not only gives damage and crit buffs, but also guarantees that the unit she buffs with her skill goes after her next turn. You can get so many extra turns out of characters with so much extra damage that this level of brokenness shouldn't exist in the game. Bronya, I talked about how you're the best character in the game. Can you come home now? Please? Speaking of Seele, let's talk about why she received a crazy high score of 9.18 out of 10. Seele is the embodiment of destruction, chaos, and a whole lot of broken game mechanics. If you see Seele coming your way, it's probably best to run for the hills, or pray that she zips up her shorts. Seele is the best single target damage unit in the game, and she deals massive AoE quantum damage. And despite being a single target damage dealer, she actually works better than a lot of AoE characters in situations with multiple enemies. This is because of her speed boost, which means that she can have several turns in a row and take out an enemy on each turn. So she deals the most single target damage in the game, and is one of the fastest acting characters in the game, rightfully earning a spot in S tier. Now let's talk about A tier. From here on, there are going to be a ton of characters, so I'll only talk about the ones that were significant or really surprised me. In A tier we have, in order of highest score to lowest score, Tingyun, Natasha, Bailu, Jingyuan, Trailblazer, Welt, Jeopard, and Clara. I was a bit surprised to see Tingyun up here. Personally, I believe all Fox girls should be S tier, but that's just my opinion. It seems that she can funnel other characters' energy with her ultimate, has top tier offensive buffs, is very skill point efficient, and has very flexible playstyles. These positives catapulted her score to 8.53 out of 10, only 0.04 points below S tier. But why didn't she break into S tier? Is it because her buffs are only single target, while Bronya's ultimate buffs the whole team? Let me know in the comments down below. It's no surprise to see the only two healers in the game up here in S tier. Although, I thought it was interesting that Natasha was ranked just above Bailu. I guess this is because everyone has Natasha, but not everyone has Bailu, and players may tend to rank characters they have over characters they do not. Natasha's kit has two very big assets, but that analysis is for another site. I think it goes without saying that Trailblazer is a very strong character who deserves A rank. Welt, who is currently the only imaginary damage dealer in the game, pretty much has to be A tier due to this fact. It will be interesting to see how his ranking changes after Luocha and Yukong are released. I feel like Jeopard is kind of a rare character, as I don't tend to see much information about him. If you know why he's in A tier and not higher or lower, leave a comment down below. Next up in A tier, we of course have the cutest character, Clara. Clara rightfully deserves a spot in A tier as the highest AoE damage dealer in the game. Unlike a character we'll get to a bit later, despite dealing AoE damage, Clara is also very strong against single targets and has an extremely high damage ceiling. Despite her strengths, she can't match up to the damage that an S tier unit like Seele dishes out. But if she puts some shoes on, she might just be the most powerful unit in the game. Only time will tell. Now let's go back to Jingyuan. Jingyuan is the newest released limited character after Seele. Being the banner after S tier Seele, he's going to have big shoes to fill. Actually, Zila's shoes are probably pretty small. Pela, Yanqing, March 7th, Sushang, Serval, Qingque, Asta, Dongheng, and Hook fall into B tier. I was surprised to see March 7th down here in B tier. In my opinion, March 7th is at least an A tier unit, as she has carried my team up until this point. She provides shields to allies that even bosses cannot break, and with the right build, can actually deal non-negligible damage. In addition, her ultimate freezes every enemy, which is really great, especially when paired with certain buffs in Simulated Universe. But this is not my tier list. She earned a score of 6.9, which is still above average, but I guess since she is not strong at all against enemies with resistance to freeze, she doesn't quite reach the A tier. I was also surprised to see Dongheng in B tier. In fact, his score was 6.67 out of 10, just below average. He is the second best single target damage dealer in the game and a completely free-to-play unit. He is also, of course, extremely hung. However, many free-to-play were able to re-roll for Zila or even get Zila without re-rolling thanks to the amount of pulls we farmed from the game. So since most people have a character who overshadows him almost completely, this ranking makes sense. I have to admit, I almost cried when I saw what happened to Himeko. She was my first 5-star, and has been one of my favorite characters since day one. Her character design is stunning, and she has really, really epic animations. But looks aside, it seems that her kit just doesn't hold up to the other damage dealers. Just from using her, I've personally noticed that while her ultimate is really, really good, her basic attacks and skill damage are somewhat weak. In addition, she has decent single target damage, but nothing out of this world. I think that overall she should be an A tier character, but she requires a lot of investments and trace levels to be really strong. Since we aren't very far into the game, unless you've played 12 hours a day, it isn't possible yet to hyper invest into characters. However, I think Himeno's rank will definitely increase as more people decide to invest their resources deeper inside of her. Or, in ChatGPT's words, I remember the day Himeko joined my team. Her fiery spirit and epic animations stole my heart, but little did I know that her basic attacks would feel like tickles compared to other powerhouses. Nevertheless, I have hope that with more investment, she'll rise like a phoenix. And you know what else is rising? And the last character I want to talk about is Kurukuru. Why did they have to do her like this? She deserves better. Despite those statements, which I believe, I've never actually used her. So why did she take the D? I think a lot of people are the same as me and have never used her, or at least do not use her on their main team. At a glance, it seems like her skills feature lower than average multipliers. It seems that she doesn't do as much damage as other ice characters, and if you're going to bring a free-to-play ice character, March 7th might just be a better choice. So what did you think of the tier list? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more tier lists like this in the future, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Thanks for watching. Peace.